Okay, so we're building a new Tempest project today. I want to show you how easy it is to get started with Tempest. So this is just empty directory, nothing here. Let's say composer require Tempest framework. And because we are requiring Tempest in an existing project, although it was just an empty directory, we can also run vendor bin tempest install to install like the framework components here. Let's do this app, and that's all fine. Let's just add everything, and there we have it. Now we can run Tempest from the terminal. Let's generate discovery cache as well. Actually, I should include that in the install command. And let's run Tempest serve here. And there is nothing here. That's because, well, there's nothing here. So let's add our first controller here, our home controller. With, let's actually make an index method. We're going to return a view, and this controller action is available via a GET request. So just for checking whether this works. Okay, now we're here. Let's return a view like this. Just say home view.php. Actually include the function here and make our home.view.php. Actually, I want to do as well is Tempest install, and we're going to install some view components. The base one specifically, yes. And then we're also going to install Vite with bun. I want to create a Vite config, main entry points, all of that is fine. And so this way I have Tailwind available as well. I should still add it. Let's see. This one added over here. And then I can move that one. Like so. So let's run bun run dev. And in our home.view, let's actually use that base thingy. Let's say, just making sure that we're good. Oh, I also need to run Tempest key generate. Note to myself, this should also be included in the install command. Anyway, we have Tailwind set up, we have our base view set up, and now we can actually start building some stuff. And what I want to do, I want to show you some of the Tempest features, right? So I am going to, well, move all of this for once to home, like so. And I'm going to create, I like resources to contain like these base things. And a good thing with Tempest is I can just move everything around. I should restart bun, unfortunately. And then we're back to normal. So Tempest discovers everything and knows where everything is. Bun doesn't, so I have to restart bun. So we have our home module here. We're going to create a new module called blog with a blog controller. Oh. Blog controller. I'm going to add two methods for now. Index, which will return a view, and show, which will get a slug for a blog post. And we'll assign some routes to it. Like so. Now I don't really like that I have to repeat all of this. So hang on, let me just create a view here, blog index.view.php, which also uses xbase, and I'm gonna say blog index for now, and show like this. So return view blog.view.php, and blog index and blog show. So if we go to blog now, PHP Storm didn't generate my namespaces correctly. Hang on, composer, of course, app home and app blog. Okay, so blog index and then slug is the show. So that's good. And what I don't like here is that we have to repeat this prefix here. We could do two things. We could just add a prefix of blog on here, like so. And this still works, and slug also still works. We could also make it a bit more interesting by having a blog route, which is an attribute and implements route decorator. And what it does is route URI, it prefixes it with /blog, and then return the route. And so instead of prefix, we can now also do route, blog route, like this, and then our routes still work. Whatever works for you. These route decorators are really useful if you want to do more interesting stuff besides just adding a prefix to your URI. What we want to do here is scan for blog posts, basically. So let's add a directory content. Let's add the date here, 2026, January 1st, hello world. And then some thoughts, something like this. And then a third one, doing some testing. Okay. And this is a pattern I like to use in many of my websites where I have this like markdown content. I just create a blog post repository and also a blog post value object. This has nothing to do with framework code, but this is just something I like to do. Let's say public string title, slug title, content, public date time date time is fine. Date or published at, like that. And so now we have this value object that we can hydrate with our markdown files. So we have our content, our slug, also an optional public string description. So going back to our blog post repository, let's say find string slug returns an optional blog post, and also all returns an immutable array. Let's add a doc block here. Return immutable array, array key, and blog post, just to make sure that we get auto completion. And so the all method, what we should do here is posts, or let's say return array, and we'll say glob on dir content all MD files. Back to our blog controller, and let's inject this repository here. So private blog post repository, because we need it everywhere. Might as well inject it in the constructor. And so let's say posts equals this repository all. And then we'll already pass them to the view here. So posts. Yes, blog posts. Rename it for consistency, right? Okay. So let's take a look here. This will now be an array of paths. Right. And now we have to convert those to our parsed value objects. So let's say map and string path like this. Actually, I'm going to composer require Tempest markdown, which is a package I'm working on. It's not ready, but I like to use it. We're going to inject that markdown parser here. So markdown, like so. So when we loop over all, well, actually, let's just parse. Do the naive approach for now. So we do it like this, and then we say data equals parsed front matter, data slug equals, and what we need here is the file name is path info file name, and we need to parse this because we want the slug to be, let's see, we want it to be hello world, right? And we want to filter out the date. But actually we need the date as well because we need to parse slug, which will return an array string path. So we'll say date and slug equals this parse slug path, like so. So we have our file name, which contains both the date and the slug. We need a better name for this. Parse path. Just call it parse path. Let's say private over here. And so let's do a regex match here. And that should be better, right? Yeah, okay. Then we have name and slug. So then we can return matches name and slug. Did I call it name? I meant date. Of course, date. So then here we have date and slug. Perfect. Let's add it to our data date new date time parse. Like so. And then we'll say return new blog post. We'll just deconstruct this over here. Unknown parameter date, because it's like this. Oh yeah, title. We still need a title. And what we'll do, if not is set data title, then we'll say data title equals string title. Oh, and content, of course. In this case, we're saying we're not parsing the content, so we're just saying, oh, we are parsing the content. Oh, never mind. And then, oh yeah, description. I should make that nullable, actually. Okay. There we have it. That's our all method. And then for the find method here, I'm gonna implement that in a second. I don't want to parse everything all over again for all blog posts all the time. So let's say inject our cache here, and then we'll say return this cache resolve. And actually for the key, what we're gonna do This is pretty naive, of course. Let's say content, and then key, cache key equals crc content. Cache key. So we're going to resolve this cache key over here, and then we'll do all of this like so. We'll use content and path like so, and that now we only do all of this when our content changes. That should work just fine. Let's add an actual list here, blog index, because we have our blog posts, which I should call blog posts everywhere. Say we have a nav bar with some links here. Oh, I also need a URI. Let's see, public string URI. I will use a property hook for this. Oh, we can just do the and we'll say blog controller class with the what was it called? Show action, and then slug is this slug. So now we have a computed URI property here as well. And we'll say for each blog posts as blog post, the href will be blog post URI. We still need better support for Tempest view in like IDE support. But I think that should already, yep. Although I made a mistake somewhere, because this is Hello World. This is Hello World. This is Hello World. Oh, by cache key, of course. Let's see. File name is path info. It's because of the files are empty, of course. File name. File name. Actually, I can just append the path. What am I doing here? And that should be better, right? Yeah, okay. Good. While I'm doing stuff, I can ask Claude here. I think if I just add agents.md here, go like this. The documentation for Tempest can be found in vendor Tempest framework docs, which is vendor Tempest framework docs. Over here, here is everything. I think that should work. So implement add styling for. Okay, so while that is working, we can quickly implement find here, which is kind of the same, but a little easier, of course. Let's see. Blog post equals Okay, so that seems to work. And you can basically do the same without the map. Content $51. If not path, return null. A blog post. For real. Okay, and then we can have, let's see. Oh, Cloud is already done. That's nice. Blog show. We'll say post title and post content. Post. Blog post like this. Okay. Hello world, and yes, the content is empty. Hi. Okay. Which is also, of course, still unstyled because we okay. Let's add some dummy content. Add some dummy content in all the markdown files in blog app blog content style blog show.view.php. You can add parse markdown in app.entrypoint.css. I am curious what it's writing. Sure. So while Claude is doing all of that, let's go back to some more Tempest features, right? Because that's what we're here for, not here for writing a blog. What I want to do is add a list of interesting feeds from other blogs that are highlighted here as well. And for that, we need a couple more things, of course. Let's add a feed directory here and some migrations, because we're actually going to store this data in the database. So create a sources table. We'll have some sources which implements migrate up. Let's give it a name, and we need a external posts table. Let's do it like this. Posts table. Okay, so for the sources, what do we need here? We'll return new create table statement sources, right? And then we'll say primary, and what do we need here? String with a URI, also a string with a name. That's basically all we need here. And then return new create table statement external posts. Let's just call them posts. Yeah, I'm gonna call them posts. Posts. Again, a primary, then we'll have a string title, a string URI, all the same, and then also a belongs to source ID, and I will say sources.id. I think that should work fine. Let's try and migrate up. Of course, it's posts.source. Okay. What we're gonna do here as well is let's just add it in support app seeder, because we want to seed our database, right? Implements database seeder. We'll say Tempest blog. So we'll have these two, we'll loop over them. Sources as, we still need our model classes, not a big deal. Let's say source, and use is database model. It has a public string name, public string URI. That was it, I think. And then for post, also is database model, and then it has public source source. A belongs to relation there on the source. For each source here, we'll say source create name URI. Migrate fresh, and we'll seed everything. Made in read only. Shouldn't have done that. Seed. Okay, so let's go take a look at our database here. No posts and 2 sources are seeded. That's all great. So that is our models in place, right? And now what we want to do, highlighted posts, post select, order by ID descending, limit 3, and I will get. There won't be any now, right? All I meant. What did I call it? Title. Post. Shouldn't have been name here. Should have been title, of course. But then this is name. Okay. Okay. So that's good. Now we'll add these to highlighted posts over here, and we can ask Claude at the end of every blog post, show the highlighted posts and direct to external links. Because what we still need to do is to actually sync all posts here. Actually, what I public date time date. This is actually an important one for sorting, right? So let's add date like so, and let's migrate fresh again. We're not synchronizing any posts yet, so let's do that right now. We have our feed sync command. Use has console because we're interacting with our console here. We're saying invoke, not returning anything. And we'll say for each source, select all as source. We'll do some stuff here. So this info source name, this success done. And then we can say feed sync. Of course, a console command. Okay, so we're doing that. But now we need to fetch all that data. So what I'll do, because I have some code here prepared for that already, so add some actions here. Sync source. Okay, and so this code will basically just fetch stuff from an RSS feed in a way that works for most RSS feeds. Let's see, I inject cache here, I have my resolve title here, which I use to crawl the blog post page to find the right title, because apparently not all people add their titles into their RSS feed directly. And then the HTTP client here to actually get the contents of the page. Let's see, then we do some error logging here. And then we try to parse the RSS into, let's see, we have our parse XML function here that just does a lot of things and creates RSS entries, which is another value object, which I then can use to, let's see, find whether there are any posts for this RSS entry. If there are, we'll just update it, and otherwise we'll create a new one. So basically we're syncing all RSS entries into our own database with reference to the original post. Let's see, and then this is just resolving data from RSS feeds. Nothing too interesting here. That resolve title I already showed you. And then there are some events which we'll use in a second. So back to our feed sync command. What we need to do, let's inject our private sync source action here, and we can just say this sync source like so, and that should do it. However, we also have these events because we want to write some output in our console command again. In order to do that, we're going to inject the event bus here. And this is a small trick to register conditional events. You can have global event listeners in Tempest without having to inject the event bus, but in this case we only want these event listeners to be registered when we're running this command. So we'll say this event bus listen. We're listening to on 3 events here. So let's say on post synced source sync failed. And actually I'm gonna show you how it works without the event bus because it's just a little more convenient. But then you'll also understand why I want to do it in the more conditional way. So let's just add event handler here. And so from now on, these methods will listen to events. There's nothing more to it. And we can say this success, then this success source synced. Then we'll say this error source sync failed. And I think we don't have the exception here. Okay, but we'll just do it like this for now. So yeah, when we call this action will trigger events, and they are then passed through here via the event bus. It's a pattern I like to use to keep console output separated from business logic and keeping it all in this one class. Let's take a look here. Let's say feed sync, and okay, well, our events work. We don't know what went wrong, but we can figure that out. So on source sync failed, let's actually go to here. We're going to add the exception. In this case, there's an exception. Let's say public throwable, like so. Because where else? Here there is a throwable, so we can add it here. Let's see, source sync failed. If event exception, we'll say this error exception get message. Something like this. Let's see what's wrong. Yeah, and there we have the exception. Cannot assign to property. Oh, post. Hang on. We're using the wrong date time here. I want to use this one. Oh, okay, and that's all done. Let's take a look at our posts now. So here we have all the posts synced, and yeah, with the correct date as well. That's great. And yeah, the Tempest ones are here as well. So now going back to our controller here, we actually already have everything in place, right? The highlighted posts, order by ID, by date, it is descending, and limit 3, and we'll get all of those. And then, ooh, Claude made a mistake. Who could have guessed? What's if highlighted posts, highlighted post count? Looks like it's doing some good stuff though. Highlighted posts. The problem here is that this is just an array. Let's put it like this. Okay. From around the web, and there are the external posts. Let's do a little bit more actually. This is a Tempest blog now. Really cool. Let's do 5. And so we have all of that working. One more thing we need to do with our sync command here. We're now running it manually. Well, we want to run it on a schedule. And what we can do is just say schedule every hour, like this. And when we deploy this, we need to run one command, that's schedule run, and then it will run this task. Well, all commands that have the schedule attribute here, it will run them automatically. So you don't have to worry about setting, adding cron jobs for individual commands, stuff like that. That's all handled by Tempest. One final thing I want to add, and then we're done. Well, we're far from done, but then I've shown you quite a lot of features already that I'm excited about. Let's go to our blog controller. What we want to do is to make this into static pages. And static page for this one, well, no, let me just show you what happens. So if we add the static page attribute to one of our routes, actually also for home, static page, we have this command in Tempest, static generate, and it will generate static pages from the code here. And so when I've just generated them, if you go to public index now, this is just the generated HTML. You're serving HTML directly from your server and not touching the framework at all. So yeah, it makes it that no PHP is having to run when it's not necessary. However, for our blog detail pages, well, we have one controller action and we have several blog posts, right? Because we have a slug here. So how do we generate static pages from them? And for that we have a data provider class. Let's add it here. It's super simple. Blog post data provider, and let's implement data provider like so. And what it needs is just a generator, a list of slugs to use in this case. So what we're going to do is inject our blog post repository. We're going to loop over all the posts, right? And then we're going to yield slug post slug. And basically that's enough. Let's add this over here, blog post data provider, like so. And now if you run static generate again, you can see we got all these slugs from our data provider and generated an HTML page for every one of them, right? Let me actually just open that in the browser so that you can see this is the statically generated page. On your production server, usually HTML pages get served directly anyway, so you don't have to do anything special to get it to work, usually. And it's a really nice performance boost. If you want to remove all your static pages, you just run Tempest static clean and everything gets removed. So yeah, those are a couple of features of Tempest. There is quite a lot more, but yeah, I just really love this framework. It's so intuitive. Still a couple of things that need to be improved. I've taken notes, but yeah, I wanted to show you how easy it is to get started and how you can work with the database, the scheduler, static pages, models, controllers, views, how you can easily instruct your agents to just look at the docs here. Everything is included. That's a really nice trick to know about. And yeah, it all works. So yeah, if you're interested, you can check it out. TempestPHP.com and give it a try. There is so much more. You can find all of it in the documentation. So yeah, enjoy.